So I've heard that the average amount of time I have to grab your attention is about 8 to 10 seconds, and then you'll be gone, which means I may have already lost you. I hope you stay with me for a little longer than this, because today's message is about the impact and the importance of us communicating clearly as coaches. I did this video. This is probably the fourth or fifth take now of this video. And my best take of it went over 6 minutes long. And I said, I can't do that. I have to shorten that. What a shame. Because as I was doing that video and I going through it and explaining to you the impact and the importance of communication, I was covering what I think are very important points to make it clear what my message is. However, we have gotten so wrapped up in our world today, in this instant gratification, iPhone, internet world today, that we need everything now. And so 6 minutes, it's too long. Man, that's a shame. Because my message today is about, obviously, as I say, the impact and importance of communication. Well, communication needs to be clear for people to fully understand what's going on. We want it as brief and concise as possible. I totally get that. I do too. But sometimes we focus more on, in fact, more often now, I think, we focus more on brief and concise than we do on clear. And so we get wrapped up in how long is this? How much time is this going to take? You've all done it. You've popped open a TED Talk video and you look right down and see, oh my God, 28 minutes. I don't have that time. Or you look at some other video, oh my God, 40 minutes. You hear it's the greatest video in the history of videos, but you just don't have time. And so here I was at going over 6 minutes for an extremely important message, I think, because this is the message I want to talk about. While I was doing an earlier video, a text came through on this iPhone on which I do my recording. And it was from my son's soccer coach for right now his spring soccer season. Not a school, it's a club soccer. And it said, hey, parent-player meeting tomorrow night at 6:30. And then it mentioned that in another text that the head coach of the high school soccer program was going to be there. And that was it. So then somebody responded and said, regarding, ? I mean, give us some information. What's this going to be about? What's happening? And it got me thinking about the last 4 years of my son's high school sport experience. He was a soccer player, basketball player, tennis player for a couple of years. And the times where we struggled with the communication or lack thereof, or the inconsistency or the lack of clarity of the communication. Yeah, he had a good experience in his sports and we were fine. We liked his coaches just fine. But there were so many times where we were left wondering, what's going on? And then we would ask him and he's like, I'm not sure. Well, heck, he was 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. Of course, he's not always going to be as focused as he should be. And he was one of the better ones with that. And yet we were wondering what's going on. And the communication either was non-existent or not all that clear. At times it was great, but enough times where it wasn't that, man, it made it confusing and frustrating. Got me thinking, gosh, in all my years of coaching, how many parents were saying that same thing about me? And that was pre-text, pre-email. Everything was done on paper or you called. A much different time. How often did I have parents totally confused? Because I gave the sheet to the kids, of course. It made its way home and was given to them, right? Oh man, boy, I learned the hard way. No, that doesn't always happen. And so it's so critical, coaches, that we do all we can to be as clear as we can with our communication. Yes, brevity and being concise is critical, but the biggest key is clarity. And let's face it, I used to teach my fundamentals of communications class. There's 3 messages when you give a message: the implied message or intended, the actual message, and the received message. Our goal is that the intended message makes its way through the actual message and is the exact same thing as the received message. How often does that actually happen though? How often does it happen? You've probably all been through this where you've told a kid one thing or your team one thing, and you hear later that night or the next day or the next week, how come you said blah, blah, blah? And you're like, I never said that. It's because the intended message and the received message were very different. Let's face it, your intended message went to this person, but then that person went and told it to another person, and they got a different message. We won't ever be able to totally control the clarity of the message. But we have to focus on it at least. We have to do all that we can to be the best we can be at delivering that message so that the clarity that we seek is as close to the clarity that is received as we can get it to be. Make the effort to be the best you can at sending out the right messages in the right ways. Do me a favor. I don't always ask for this. I think I did last week, but scroll down. I always ask thumbs up, thumbs down, or leave a comment. But do me a favor and please subscribe to the channel and pass the word on to others. And we'll talk to you again next time.